Hello, everyone. This is being broadcast. If you can hear me, please check the comment section. Nope. It says broadcast live. And it says we're recording. So I'm going to take it at its word. Hello, everyone. My name is Brenda Antrim, and I'm going to refresh my camera just in case. I'm one of the reference librarians here at Santa Monica College, and I'd like to have my colleagues introduce themselves to you. Marina?
Hi, I'm Steve Hunt. I'm Systems Librarian at Santa Monica College. I work with the computers and the library website. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Marina Parisa. I'm one of the reference librarians and I'm one of the Library 1 instructors. And I'm also responsible for the library guides that Bren will be talking about. So hope to hear or see you soon.
Hi, I'm Patricia Burson. I'm the interim Associate Dean for Learning Resources, which includes the library and learning resources such as Tutoring and the Science Learning Center. Welcome.
What we're going to do at this point is I'm going to be showing you some things for about maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And Marina and Steve are going to be checking chat. So if you have questions, please do use the discussion tab and ask us questions as we go. And actually, to sort of test that right now, if anybody is out there and hearing this, please say something in the comments just to let us know that it's actually working.
Comments that everyone can hear.
Fantastic. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you because we thought for the library, it might be most appropriate to just give you a short introduction to how you get to the library resources online and what sorts of things you'll be able to access and when you need to be enrolled to get to them and when you can just see them forever. Now, this is the college website, smc.edu. And in order to get to the library from this website, you mouse over student support and click on library in between counseling and tutoring. And there is another version of this attached as a videotape, as a video recording to our booth. So later on, if you want to take a look at it, it's a little bit more in depth. So from the library, you'll see a lot of options. When we can finally get back on campus, this is what the inside of the library looks like. And down here, you'll have search options as well as service options. In the middle, you have various opportunities to search different resource groups depending on what you're needing to look for. So say you have an English paper, a Soc paper, an econ paper, and you need to get some ebooks. You can either search in OneSearch, which searches everything that we subscribe to or have electronic access to. It's a good place to start if you don't have a very specific search in mind and you just sort of want to see what's out there. If you know, for example, that you need ebooks, you can head here to Search Library Resources. This is another entry into that OneSearch. You can type in your search. Say you're in marine biology and you need to find out about dolphins. You want to make sure that you're in articles, books, and more, and it gives you the option to sort by only those things that are available online, which you'll want to do since we're currently closed due to the COVID crisis. And then you can narrow it down by other areas, like, is it an ebook? Is it on my specific subject? What language is it in? How old is it? So if you're looking for ebooks, that's the way to go. If you're looking for database articles, in the center, you'll find about 40 some odd different databases. Some are general, some are specific to a topic, some are just journals or just newspapers. And this is where you dig in when you have your topic in mind, you have a target, and you want to start searching to find information. Before I show you that, I want to point out Ask a Librarian. This is 24/7 research help. So if you have questions and you need help, and it's during time when classes are on and when we would normally be open, you'll talk to a Santa Monica College librarian via chat directly, and we can help you while you're doing your search, like a live search assistance. You can also use Ask a Librarian even if it's Sunday afternoon. We belong to an international consortium of librarians, So 24/7, when you click on this button, or when you click on the chat interface that's embedded in most of our databases, any database that will let us do it, you will be talking to a college or university librarian, either from Santa Monica College or from one of our partner institutions in the consortium. So heading back quickly to databases, you have some options when you head here. You can go into all databases, which is an alphabetical listing of all of the databases that we currently subscribe to, with a short description of what's in each database. And I want to point something out while we're here. Many of you come in and you want to transfer. You want to get your first 2 years here done, transfer to another institution. You can help yourself along that path with a database called College Source Online. And now all of these databases are subscription databases. So you have to be currently enrolled in a class in order to be able to access them. So if you would click on this today, it wouldn't work for you. But if you click on it Monday, the 31st, it will work for you. And you log in with your Canvas login. College Source is really useful if you want to find out things like what financial aid is offered. How big is this university? What kind of majors do they offer? What kind of prep do I need to do to get there? So if you do the pre-work in College Source before you head off to that appointment with your counselor, you know, like much more targeted questions to ask, and they can help you along your path much more easily because you have a better idea of where you want to go. In addition, there are a bunch of other databases depending on what type of information you need. And when you go into them, I'll just pick one. When you're doing a search in one of the databases, notice you have to log in if you're not currently logged in, and you have to be enrolled in order to do that. This is your Canvas login. And then from here, when you do a search and you get results, over on the right, there is an embedded Ask a Librarian. So you can do your search, ask your question, not lose your search. Okay. So heading back from the databases, backed up to the library homepage. Next on this list are research guides. And these are the live guides that Marina was talking about a little bit earlier. These are literally exactly what's on the label. They are lists of resources and helpful hints and videos to help you, whether you're doing business or dance or whatever area of interest you're currently enrolled in. We also include a couple of current events, like we have one for coronavirus, we have one for the upcoming elections, as well as a general FAQ, and one specifically on doing research, how to do research. So these are helpful hints if you're starting your research, for example, and you get stuck. I'm choosing a topic, I'm stuck. What do I do? We have help for that. I need to find out about articles. What do I do? We have help for that. I'm doing an MLA style citation. What do I do? We have help for that. While we're here, I want to also mention the fact that we have 8-week fully online, 1 unit, UC and CSU transferable library research methods classes. The one for the first 8 weeks, we have 2 sections. One is still open. So if you're looking for that one additional unit and you know you're going to be doing some papers, some essays, some presentations, some research this first 8 weeks, check it out. And that is a transferable unit as well. Okay. So heading back to the library, we have workshops and videos that we'll be doing, and in fall, we will have live Zoom workshops on a variety of topics. We also have linked previous workshops that we've done. Now, these are the full length of a class, so this isn't like a 10-minute chunk. This is an entire website or an entire worksheet, English, an entire workshop on research methods or fighting fake news or how to use websites in research, for example. So sometimes your instructors will offer you extra credit if you view one of these workshops. So something to let your teachers know about if they don't already. I've talked a little bit about Ask a Librarian already. And while we don't offer tutoring services in the library, we do link to them. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about tutoring just because it's very useful. It's peer tutoring, it's free to you, and it's confidential. So you can go here and you can find a tutoring appointment scheduling tool. So just personal experience, this is my 21st year at Santa Monica College, and I've worked with a lot of students. And one thing that they've told me is that they wish they'd gotten tutoring earlier. So a lot of things that you do at SMC, at any college, they build on each other. So if you don't get that like foundational information set and you go on to the next level, you may not succeed as well as you hoped because you didn't quite have your foundation solid. So if you start to feel yourself getting a little behind, talk to your teacher, get some tutoring, get that information settled deeply and your foundation set so you can go on and succeed at the next level. Okay. So heading back to the library. Ask a Librarian is also linked here. If you are a continuing student, which you probably aren't because this is really set for new students, but if say you had classes last fall and you're coming back, do not return your items to the library at this time. If you have specific questions about it, chat with us and we will help you. Under resources, we have resources for students and resources for faculty. We offer your teachers a 1-hour Zoom class session that is sort of built around whatever that class is. So a business orientation is different than an English orientation, which is different than a history orientation. That is for your teacher to request, so please do not use this link. But what you can do is you can take a look at our YouTube channel. And on our YouTube channel, I want to show you how you get to that without this link. Because if you just Google SMC, it's not going to work. St. Mary's College apparently has a lot of videotapes out there. But if you ask for Santa Monica College and spell it out, library YouTube, spell it all out, it'll take you there. Okay. Once you're there, we have a couple of playlists. The playlist on this side, website resources, those are those like 45-minute long workshops. But if you say you're in art history and you need to use JSTOR and you're like, I'm lost, how do I even get started? You can go into the database tours. Go down until you get to the JSTOR database search. And this gives you a 7-minute tutorial that takes you through getting into the database, using the search function, finding and retrieving an article, figuring out citation, and going back and finding more information. So that's what the video database tours are. And again, to get there, you just have to spell out Santa Monica College Library YouTube, because SMC gives you a completely different school. Finally, over here on the left-hand side, you'll notice that there are some links. And some of these are the same as these. It's just to say a button goes down, you can still get in and find books. Where this button goes down, you can still get in and find databases. But I wanted to talk to you about starting research. Because a lot of times you get started and your teacher is being kind or cruel, hard to tell, and they say, pick a topic, your choice. And your brain immediately stalls because you've got so many things that you're interested in right now, but you're not sure which one you can write about. And we're a college library, and what I mean by that is we only collect information about those things we teach. So don't just look in our collection, also look in the public library collection. If you have other options, make the largest pool of information that you can access possible when you go to do your research. But to find that topic, where do you start? Over here on the left-hand side under library, under doing research, we have research topics. And this links you to a database called Opposing Viewpoints in Context. And this is a database that's actually based on a series of print books. There are pro-con essays, and they also include explanatory information, and then links to other things like journal articles and statistics and interviews. So if you're not really sure what you want to write about, you can click on that research topics link, and it links you to a whole buffet of topics that you could pick. So say I'm interested in hacking. I can click on that. It will give me an overview of the topic. If I read through it and I think, this looks kind of interesting, I can do this, then I can find related topics, I can find specific articles. I can find related subjects, which are separate from this, but in the same family, as it were. And there is actually a video database tour on this particular database. So if you're wandering through this and you want to find out more about it, you can go back to our YouTube channel and take a look at the video on opposing viewpoints. So I'm going to stop sharing at this point. And are there any questions in the chat that you've not gotten to that you would like me to talk about? Because this is like question time. I don't see any questions.
I think
so.
We have answered them in chat. I don't know if we've answered them completely. At the end, there are lots of students that want anime suggestions. So I'm going to type those into the chat at the end.
Anime. Right now, I'm looking at classics like Natsume's Book of Friends, and I'm also watching Dr. Stone, and Alicization War for the Underworld just got Kirito out of the chair, so thank God for that. But I can talk about anime for the rest of the day, so that's scary.
I do believe that Crunchyroll is one of our databases we subscribe to, so our anime collection is really lacking.
And they are true. This is true. Crunchyroll Expo is going to be virtual, by the way, the 4th, 5th, and 6th. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Over next weekend. Check out their website because they've got quite a few of their creators who are actually going to be doing things like live drawings. No premieres like they do with their on-site expo. And I'll miss going to San Jose for that. But
here's a question that we can answer that's not anime.
Yes.
Do we have access to the digital editions of the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times?
Yes, we do. And actually, let me show you how to get to that. So I'm going to share screen again. And head to the library for that. So again, to get to the library from the school homepage, just mouse over Student Support, click on Library between Counseling and Tutoring. And we have a database that
Brenda, excuse me, we're not seeing your screen. I see the hackers and hacking window up.
Yeah.
But not.
That's weird. Okay, let me close that. Are you seeing it now?
Nope, I just see us.
Yeah.
New technology, always fun. Okay, let me try this again.
I am posting in the chat box how to get to US Newsstream.
Mm-hmm.
Now do you see it?
Nope. Yes, now I see the library main page.
Okay. So from the school homepage, by the way, this is the first time any of us are using this technology. So,
reason, yeah.
So on Student Support, click on the library. And then when you head down to the databases, we actually have one database that is all newspapers. And the reason why I recommend that, if I head into all databases and scroll alphabetically by title down to US Newsstream, see how many databases we have? The reason why I recommend going to US Newsstream instead of going to like the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times website is because you have to do individual searches at each one of those websites. They have a firewall if you're not a paid subscriber. So after, say, 4 or 5 articles, they cut you off. You have to deal with the weird sort of web layout and go through all the pop-ups. And then when you finally do find something, can you get the whole article? If you go into US Newsstream, you're searching all of these major and regional and some local newspapers with one search, already paid for. It's updated from about 25 years ago to actually today's newspaper, so it is very up to date. And it gives you, it sort of delivers the article to you and helps you with citation all with one search. Okay, so if I'm looking for a specific publication, there's a couple of different ways I can go. I can go by topic. So say I'm looking for election information. Excuse me. I can then go down here on the left, and it will allow me to look through only these results by going into the publication title. Washington Post,
It's not showing the screen, Brenda.
Sorry?
Your search results aren't coming up. You're just on the page where you can select the database.
Okay, there appears to be a lag.
When you open a new tab, it doesn't follow the new tab.
It doesn't follow you. Okay, so I'm going to show you my search results this way. Ah, joy. So when you do a search, can you see it now?
We see it now, yes.
Okay, it's like, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do a search and it brings up all of these results, down here on the left, one of the ways you can limit your search is by publication title. So that's one way you can do it. And then you can say, okay, there's the New York Times, there's the Washington Post. If you get too many, you can narrow by date. You can add a separate search term. When you do that, you can go down and you can say, okay, maybe I just want a last month. So you can narrow your search a number of different ways, and then you can go down and say, okay, I just want the ones that are in the Washington Post or the New York Times. Okay, that's one way you can do it. The other way you can do it, say there's a specific newspaper article that you're looking for, and you know it was in the Wall Street Journal in the last week. You can go up here where it says publications, and you can search by the title of the publication instead of by the topic. Okay. Then when you find one, you can say, okay, I want this one. Notice how far back it goes, and it goes all the way until today. So then I can say in that Wall Street Journal, once it loads, load for me, you can pick a date range and view that specific issue. Okay. Did that answer the question?
I think so. I think it answered it very well. I hope so.
Okay.
Do we have access to The Economist?
The Economist. The Economist is actually, is that a magazine or a trade?
I think it's.
I'm doing a little search right now.
Yeah.
So let me show you how I would answer that question by answering it. Okay, I'm going to change in this one. I'm going to go back to the library. And then we used to be able to search for publications.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure we have access to that anymore. Supposedly we should do it within Alma
Word search.
Primo, but that's harder to do.
Okay. So what that would, at that point, what I would do, we used to have a function that we don't have anymore for the last few weeks. So we learn as we go. So you'd get into one search and you'd say Economist. Economisty, yay. You'd say Economist. And then it will give you 8 billion things. Okay, 470,508. But at that point, you can say, I want that to be the journal title. There's got to be a way to do this.
I don't know if it shows up in the databases. I can't remember.
So let's. So if you're looking,
Top of the list had something that looked like The Economist.
the what?
The very top of the list that you're on.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's
That's in print, right?
print. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. See, we had it in print, but what is the second one? Is that?
The problem, it's a very common title, and there's lots of journals, books, and articles that have the title Economist.
Yeah. Now, I'm glad that actually that you asked this question, because this is the type of thing that's going to happen when you're looking. If you're looking to see if we have something in particular, this one says available at Maine. When it says that, it means it's in the print collection. That means it's not available online, even though I've asked for it to be available online. So the tools can be a little iffy with this, and you have to keep looking. This is called The Economist. So I'm going to add, now see, I don't know if The Economist is a trade journal or a popular magazine. If it's a popular magazine, it will not come up under peer-reviewed journals.
No, I don't.
So let me try. Oh, this is a really good question now that we've lost our tool to do it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is from the UK. I thought so. It's more of a news magazine, but it is from the UK.
Looks like we've got the older ones. So since this is going way back, let's do a date limit and change this to 2015. Refine applies that limiter to your search, and that takes out approximately 90% of them. But no, it looks like we do not have that online. We only have it in print.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually, in a way, doesn't surprise me because I think that's a Taylor title, a Taylor and Francis and Taylor. They have their own database. It's rather expensive. So it might just be that it's in a database we don't subscribe to. Keep in mind, if that happens, that's when you start looking outside of your local collection. Public libraries usually have very good collections for business because that's used a lot for business. So if you can't find it in ours, don't limit yourself to that. I'm going to go ahead and show you how you would go outside of that search, unless there are other questions that I should be answering. Let me know if there is. So I'm going to show you how you would do that if you were looking for something that we didn't have, but that you needed to get a particular article. And again, this is another place where it would be really good to chat with us. If you're looking for something and you can't find it, ask a librarian. Okay. So what I might do is I might go to lapl.org, which is the Los Angeles Public Library. And from this front interface, you can do a title search to see if they have it. Lots of books, not seeing any periodicals. Yep, just books. So at that point, we need to do a little more digging. If we can't find it at our library and we can't find it at their library, then we would have to put some feelers out and get back to you. Did that work? Yes. Then we would have to put some feelers out and get back to you to see how we could find it. We don't have interlibrary loan because we are a one college district. So like some of the other community colleges, like Los Angeles Community College has 8 or 9 campuses. So they might have something at a different campus that they can bring over to your campus. We don't have that because we're the only ones in our district. So at that point, we'd have to just keep looking.
Thank you.
The joy of research. Yes.
Thank you, Fran. I'm looking to see. A lot of students are asking about textbooks and when is the best time to get our textbooks and does the library have our textbooks? And
Trish, did you want to talk to that or should I? Okay, I'll talk to that.
I can talk about it if you'd like. The library is closed at the moment, and so access to the textbooks that we have on reserve isn't possible at this time. And one of the problems that was encountered in thinking about how this service plays out in times of a pandemic is that usually our reserved textbooks are available to students in the library for 2-hour use at a time. Because we're closed, we can't loan them, but even if we found a way to loan them, it would only be for one person per day, and then that book would have to be isolated for 72 hours or more before it could be put back in recirculation due to all the COVID-19 restrictions that we have. So we are trying to buy more electronic books. Unfortunately, the publishers do not want to sell electronic copies of textbooks to libraries because we share them. So from what I've seen, our bookstore offers ebooks through a vendor, and the prices seem very reasonable until we open again, or until some, on the off chance that some negotiation gets worked out with one of these ebook vendors, we can't offer reserved textbooks. But the bookstore, you should try them and see if you can find the textbook that you need. And some of the instructors have, they're using OERs, and that's an online educational resource that's free. So you should talk to your instructors about that and see if they've done that, because that really is the best solution for this type of environment that we're in right now, because we just can't not get you that copy of the textbook in your hand. So if anything,
it's very frustrating too. Huh? It's very frustrating for everyone, because that's one of our major service points. When
yes, it is. It is one of the most popular things that we had in the library, aside from just being a space to come and be and hang out. But yeah, it's extremely unfortunate, and we're not at all happy about it. But we have no mechanism to change. So
yeah. Do talk to your instructors, because sometimes instructors have like they'll find a book like that is I'm sorry, I'm getting feedback like crazy. Trish, could you mute? Thank you. So sometimes they'll find a book that looks really great, but it's out of print, and then they find like one copy and it's $2.50, and they say, oh, my students can do this, except there's only one copy at $2.50, and every other copy is $500 or not available. So we've been really pushing open education resources at instructors and saying, please think about this, think about chunking it out in your Canvas shells. So we encourage that pressure to come from the students as well. There are a lot of different reasons why faculty pick specific textbooks, but this is an extraordinary situation. And if we're not allowed due to copyright restrictions or other reasons, like having to disinfect a book for 24 hours, then there needs to be another way. Another way needs to be found so that students can get their stuff. I don't know if that helps or not. The Library 1 class is an OER class, by the way.
I didn't want to bring up the copyright issue. We just can't take a book, scan it, and put it online. That's a violation of copyright. And as librarians, that's just something that we can't support. So.
And the school could get sued. So.
Yes, and we could get sued.
Yeah.
We had a request for the name of the cute cat in the background.
This is Onyx. He's my supervisor. Yes. He makes sure that I get up once an hour to exercise. Yeah, that's it. And get him treats. So.
Follow his own advice. He's been there. Here at 1:30.
I work for him. He does not work for me. Yeah. I hope that you found this to be of use. I hope that when you're doing your research, you will ask a librarian, ask us if you get stuck, or even if you're just unsure. that you'll take advantage of the free peer tutoring, and that you will explore the databases and contact us when you need help with that. I wish you the very best of luck with fall. This is going to be stressful, and it's going to be a lot of work, especially with everything else that is going on in life. But you can do this. You are capable of doing this. Take care of yourself as much as you can, and reach out when you need help, because help is available. And good luck.
We're here to help.
Yes, we are. I have a question that Steve can probably answer. Do we have software like Adobe CS for students? Is Steve still there? I know we
Here, I was actually trying to figure that out. I think we do have discounted software, and I don't know if you have to be in one of those programs. I think it may depend. I'm looking into that. I'll try to post a link.
Good, because there is an issue with Adobe. So thank you, Steve, for checking in on that.
Also remember, guys, that in Canvas, all students have access to the Office suite via Canvas. So you don't have to own like your own version of Word or whatever, or your own version of Excel. Anything that is in the Office suite is available to you via the Office 365 link in Canvas. And a lot of times your students will say, I need, or your instructors will say, you have to fill out this form, or you have to do this assignment, and it must be in a doc, a .doc or .docx format. And that's because that's how Canvas allows us to grade it.
Right.
So if you try to share a Google Doc with us, the student SMC email accounts are Gmail accounts. The faculty SMC accounts are not. So we can't actually share your Google Drive very easily. And that's why oftentimes they will, your instructors will have that sort of harsh restriction and say, I'll only accept uploads in these formats. And it has to do with interaction between that format and Canvas and the gradebook and our ability to leave comments and all this kind of stuff. So they're not doing that just to be like heartacres. they're doing that because that's what they need to do in order to actually get the work done. And you do have access to it through that Office 365 link. Everybody's good?
I'm answering a chat right now. I don't know if Steve sees any more questions.
Not at this point.
I was answering a question about Safari Books Online. It is under library databases. You can search for them there. So I'm just typing.
Safari, I love Safari ebooks because it is the only ebook provider that we have access to that lets you download those ebooks and read them offline on an iPad or iPhone or other device.
Would you like to see that?
Could you show them to us?
Absolutely.
Why not? I'm posting this. I hope you can all see the replies I've been posting.
There we go. Okay. It's not seeing my tabs for some reason. Okay, so here we are. Back at college. Heading into student support, library. You're looking for a database that is a specific database, not just by topic. So we're heading down into databases. Oh, I wanted to quick mention, we also have them broken down by area. This is not area of interest. This is topic area. So anytime you have something that is listed like this, it will have not all of the databases. It'll only have those databases that are specific to that topic listed up top, and then databases that are broader but might have something useful for that topic down at the bottom. So this is a much shorter list, and it's specific to that particular discipline or area. So since obviously Safari Books was not under literature, we check under all databases, and we scroll down alphabetically by title. To Safari Books. And I'd be willing to bet, yep, it just lost it. Okay, so let me unshare, close that tab, open that tab, reshare. This is clunky. Okay. And when you go to select an institution, you will notice it's not listed. So you click right up top and you type in your SMC email. That tells it which college you belong to, and it allows you to log in. Oh, wait, where did I go? I went to O'Reilly. See, my brain automatically went to the most difficult one to navigate.
It's O'Reilly, though.
Sorry, a siren just went by. I missed you. It is O'Reilly?
Yeah, that's an O'Reilly database.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like that. Okay. So with
The
that,
great thing about this is you can download their app on an iPad, and then you can read these things offline, downloading them. That's what I like.
and it's the only one you can.
I'm sorry, the other great thing about this, up till about 6 months ago, I think, this database consisted of 4,500 books, and they were all very good books, like O'Reilly, Teach Pit, things like that. But now it's up to 50,000 since O'Reilly's taken over.
So if you're, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's a great resource.
And another great thing about it is we used to have a limited license. You got about 5 people on a title before they would lock you out. Now our license is unlimited. So your instructor can say, class, go look at this book, and you can all get at it at the same time.
So this is really good if you're, in IXD or you're in CS or CIS or you're looking at programs. They also include some videos. And up at the top, you can search. So like say I'm looking for Alice, because Kirito is on my brain. It will bring up things by Alice and things about Alice. You can also search for specific titles. So in that case, say your instructor gives you a book on this database and they say, you all need to go read Feature Engineering for Machine Learning. You can go into the search field and look specifically for that title and get it. Okay. We're just about out of time. So I wanted to, did you guys see that search? Hello? Okay. Good. Okay. So are there any other questions that anybody would like to slide in there? Remember, if you don't think of them now or you think of them later and you want to ask, you can go to the library homepage, click on Ask a Librarian, and ask us at any time. We will be manning that desk again starting Monday. But there, like I said, our partners in our international consortium, our partner librarians, man it when we're not there. So there's somebody there to answer your questions. Thank you very much for coming to our presentation, and good luck this fall.
Thank you very much. We had a lot of nice comments.
Thank you, Brenda.
Yes, thank you, Brenda. Great job.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording now, and I just wanted to remind everybody before you leave, this worksheet, as opposed to a workmoose, this workshop is being recorded and will be available to rewatch on smc.edu/welcome very soon.
All right.
Wait 30 seconds. Okay.